What's going on, Neon Nation? Welcome back for some more Cyberpunk 2077. Today we're looking at all the screenshots correlated with the new gameplay demo drop we're getting tomorrow at PAX West released by CD PROJEKT RED and putting them under the microscope. See if you notice these things when the gameplay live streams on Friday morning. In our first screenshot, we have Placide showing off a Vista Pacifica as the sun is beginning to set. There seems to be some commotion in the background, and if we take a closer look, we see what looks like a helicopter lighting up one of the floors of a skyscraper-esque abandoned building. The scene is very similar to the Trauma Team drive-by shooting via Aerodyne from the E3 2018 trailer. Now obviously this confirms helicopters in the game, and looking into the source material from Cyberpunk 2020 in the Maximum Metal sourcebook, it looks very similar to the AH-99 gunship. As Pacifica is a former resort destination, these buildings are all likely hotels of some sort. Bahia in the background seems to be one of these hotels. We also do have some ads including New Empire, whose tagline is focus on winning this fall, which seems to be some sort of fashion ad or even an ad for a movie. We also have the king-size drink ad we've seen before and a Dynalar ad, which is a cybernetics company. A statue of a flamingo is seen as well, and as you guys will see in additional screenshots, flamingos are common in this coastal district. There also seems to be a kid on the bottom left, seemingly confirming that yes, children will be present in the world. Now we've talked a lot about Placide, so there's not much to mention here other than he is a high-ranking Voodoo Boys member, which is a Haitian netrunning gang who moved into Pacifica to escape catastrophic environmental conditions in Haiti. Next we have this action shot from within the animal's lair in the Grand Imperial Mall. It features Sasquatch charging after us with an explosion in the background as you reload your SMG. Taking a look at the SMG, it seems to sport a red dot or hollow sight with the suppressor, which I believe you use for the majority of the demo here. Now usually Sasquatch is sporting a big hammer, but in this shot she doesn't seem to have it. This is because when the boss gets weaker, she throws her hammer at you. This is further evidenced when you download the screenshot, which is titled Missed Me, indicating that Sasquatch likely did throw her hammer and is now resorting to a full-blown charge attack. Now the animals use a reflex booster called Sandviston, which allows them to use increased speeds to close the gap. In the background we see some graffiti, Fear the Beasts or Night City, and an ad we've seen in a different screenshot featuring Sasquatch where she breaks through it. There's also some red glitches on the HUD, maybe indicating that you're about to be hacked, as in one part of the demo she tries to jack into your network and you're prompted with a countdown bar where you have to kill her before it reaches 0 or she'll fry your brain. Next we have another action screenshot as V fends off a flurry of animals gang members with the aforementioned SMG. This is on male V's way up to the Netwatch agent Bryce Mosley, who's bunkered down in a theater room. On the left side of the screen we see our first look at the minimap, which labels the current location as the Grand Imperial Mall, with red diamonds representing enemies and an exclamation mark in a box representing your goal destination up in the theater. We also have Placide talking to you in the top left as he previously jacked into your network to aid you in fending off enemy netrunners and getting counter-hacked. Netrunners in virtual space are represented by icons, so maybe Placide's icon is the moth that's underneath his nameplate. Can we also just take a second to look at just how good the lighting looks, especially on V's hand. Explosions, fire, and at times hair does seem to be a little bit of a sore spot, and hopefully everything is on par with each other on full release. There is an MMA poster representing a fighting championship on the side, which seems to be one from the Cyberpunk 2077 E3 booth. Looking at the animals members themselves, they seem to all rock some bicep and shoulder cybernetics to reinforce their muscles, and some combat helmet styled cyberware jutting out of their temples and along the jaw to prevent head trauma from their sparring sessions. We see a pump action shotgun and a pistol in the back. Next we have a scene in a market with some NPCs gathered around playing what looks like a version of the African game Mancala. What's really awesome about this screenshot is not only how good the people look, but just how diverse the clothing and fashion styles are. Hopefully this is represented in the game with our options. In the back we seem to have some arcade machines, which may hint at us being able to play additional minigames to the ones we already know that are confirmed, like boxing and street racing. If we zoom in further on the data terminal in the back, we see a headline that seems to say the Meat Man strikes again. Next we have the nanowire showing off just how gory this game is, the dismemberment system, and how strong this weapon can be up close. We also have some insanely strong kickback and dismemberment from this shotgun, which reminds me of the Halo Reach or CE Shoddy. In the top right, we have an ad whose tagline is Make Steroids Great Again. Next we have a scene in a more bustling area of Pacifica featuring a really neat retro car. It's definitely got an 80s vibe to it, and as we see again, we have a flamingo statue on the far right side. In the back we see a sports arena with what looks like combat football and some advertisements. We've discussed the foreign body brain dance ad and the Nikola ad in the back, as well as the skin and chrome and orbital air ads. There is an additional ad in the background that we can't quite make out, but it seems to be some dude sitting on the john. On the far left, we have the most fashionable man in Night City, rocking his socks and sandals in what looks like some cyberwear, similar to this corporate from the 2018 trailer. Again, there's a ton of diversity in the NPCs, and we see a child in the background. Next up, we have a first-person dialogue sequence with Netwatch agent Bryce Mosley. We see V putting their revolver away to engage in dialogue with Bryce, who's outfitted with what seems to be heavy armor, likely for protection from getting fried when net running. It extends all the way to his head, and he has a name tag featuring Netwatch. In the back, we see surveillance or live tracking footage, which seems to be made by Militech based on the logo on the top right. In the past trailer, there was a placeholder image on the screen in the theater, but it seems like they've changed this. The cash in the back is lootable according to demo impressions. Next up, we have a scene where we meet Placide in the office and we allow him to jack into our network for our mission in the animal's lair. As we see, this is our first skill check via dialogue, which seems to convey that our techie skills are high enough for this particular dialogue option. We see the security cam footage featuring the van that the animals are protecting, and we see the Militech logo underneath. We see Johnny Silverhand's hologram looking over the setting, and also a magazine that's highly reminiscent of the Chromebooks of the source material. There also is a Netwatch document on the table, possibly for the Voodoo Boys to gather intel. Again, the screenshot looks like they've upgraded the visuals a bunch since the gameplay sneak peek trailer, and it looks really good. Next, we have a scene from again the bustling area of Pacifica, where we see some dude with a gnarly mohawk making a call on what looks like his cell phone. Again, we see the sports arena in the background and the church, which can be seen in the trailer. It also seems like he may have augmented arms, and his clothing choices are a little sus, but I gotta say that the way it drapes over the character adds a level of realism to the shirt in particular. Next, we have the animal's lair again in the mall, where we have someone training against a bot with a gang member watching over with his pump action shotgun. The guy on the left seems to be the same animal member we do a lethal takedown on in the trailer, and we see all the weight equipment that we can hack in the background. The training bot is made by what seems to be a company called Yanu, and again we can hack into this bot to knock out this big brawler out cold if our netrunning skills are high enough. Next up, we have one of my favorite pictures featuring a new muscle car in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. It looks oddly like a Camaro and gives me some Bumblebee vibes, and we can see male V inside the cabin. It's made by Quadra, the same company that makes Jackie's supercar, and it seems to be stationed in a parking lot, which has been turned into a makeshift tent city by the poor in Pacifica. Check out the mud and dirt slicks on the car, they look really good, and I'm assuming this is going to be dynamic based on what kind of terrain we drive on. Maybe we'll have to visit the car wash to clean up our rides if we so choose. Next, we have a close-up of this Asian guy in his camo jacket, again with a cyber arm. Now this guy's cyber arm is red and almost looks like there's a piece missing near the lower forearm that may be attached to it as the limb gets pretty skinny. He's smoking a cigarette, which we may or may not be able to do in game. There's a guy in the back who seems to be checking something on his wrist, so it could be a watch or biomonitor of some sort. Again, really unique looking NPCs in the game. There's also what seems to be an American flag in the background. It doesn't look like it has all the stars, so it could be a flag of Night City, but again that's just speculation. Next, we have a picture of the Yaiba Kusanagi with male V. Notable things here are how good the skybox looks and the render distance. We see the Yaiba logo a little bit more clearly and the make of the tires, which we know may be swappable from our interview with Paulo Sosco on the community podcast. Next, we have another shot of the new Quadra in a tent city in Pacifica. Again, we see a bit of that flag on the right hand side, and in the distance on the right a Ferris wheel. We see a hotel called the New Drop-In and Minnie Davis, and again the lighting here looks really good. Also, the back of this vehicle is pretty nice looking as well. Next, we have the outside of the Grand Imperial Mall, and again we see the Ferris wheel and a roller coaster off to the left. We also see what might be a casino on the left hand side, as there's a sign for Devil's Luck. Finally, we have one of the markets in or around the mall. Not too much to talk about here that we haven't already talked about in previous videos, but this seems to be the area where you buy clothing and programs in the demo. We also have this lovely animals member who seems to be abusing the steroid known as Juice.